Hey, welcome back to Reaper Pro Tips with me, your host and Disembodied Hands, Quinty, Disembodied Beard John, and fully earful Coroniko. Good to see it. A blessed earful day indeed. That's okay. You can get your delivery. And it's a Crowley resub also. Almost 71 months. Almost. Didn't you have that yesterday? Did I totally miss it? Hey y'all. Looking at y'all and just making sure I didn't miss anybody else's sub. Morning Crows. Been a while. Been a hot minute. Gilded Brush and the Hamster. Got it. Yeah, Pendrake, I had a moment. Or rather, Kiki had a moment. We had to have a discussion. We start as late as I get here. That's it. Period. Some days I'm a little earlier. Some days things happen and I have to deal with them. I put real life ahead of starting stream on time, and I always go later to make up the time. It is, in fact, a lot like the schedule I had when I was actually working at Reaper. All right, skin tones. That's fine. No, Crows, you take your time for you. You're, as I was just saying, real life trumps stream life. Whether it's for me or for you, real life trumps stream life. Every time. Alright, just going to set up my liner just so I've got it. Then we're going to work with our Black Knight and our Twilight Shadows and our Glacier Blue and our Zenith. And I wanted to go through, because we didn't really get the highlights up as high as they need to be on the arm and the face that we did last time. So I want to do something about that. So I'm just going to mix up my Black Knight liner, shiny, with my Twilight Shadows. We're using all MSP 2.0 versions for this. Oh no, my Black Knight liner says, shake me more! It did not get into solution. It's like, no, it's stubborn. It's like the day. Nice! Very cool, Kodiak. Good on you. I'm going to say something that's kind of heresy in today's progress and results-oriented world, which is, don't be surprised, Kodiak, if you are totally unable to do anything tonight. You may be fine. You may have the kind of personality that can just do that once you get in the rhythm. I personally find that when I get suddenly a bunch done after getting not enough done, I'm so tired the next day, I just don't even have it. So sometimes, what I'm saying is don't hold yourself to that standard. Pat yourself on the back and give yourself a little reward for getting, for spending you time doing the things that are important to you. But don't beat yourself up if you can't do it again tonight or the next night or whatever. Oh no. Yeah, I did not sleep well last night. I'm still working with all this sleep stuff. I had 2 days of really good sleep. And then last night was rocky. And I was feeling really good headed into last night. I had over a 2.5 mile run in the afternoon, and then, dinner was low stress, and I spent the evening just, working on random stuff that I wanted to work on and doing my stretches, which needed to be done. So I had a really great lead up to sleep, and I felt tired, and then, I just was having, I don't know, last night, I woke up hungry at 5 in the morning. which is a sign, I guess, that I'm not getting enough carbs or enough food or something, but I feel like I'm eating tons, so I don't know. It's very hard to dial in. Just when I think I've gotten it dialed in, it's just not dialed in anymore. Blake is the worst. Yes, that's true. You should also treat yourself if you have a not so great day. Essentially, to give yourself a little pat on the head and say, it's okay, we'll do better next time. Or, it's okay, we have more time to do that in. If you missed Blake because you weren't on the stream, it's up to Quindy and Karniko to fill you in if they feel like it. Yes, go back to your office if you want to walk and crunch. Exactly. All right, so I'm mixing up a combo of colors. I'm cutting a step out this time. I'm just straight up mixing my Black Knight liner with my Twilight Shadows instead of doing like transitions on either side of that and having two colors. I'm just combining it. I think I'll be able to do just fine with that. I got my liner there. And then we've got our Glacier plus a little bit of Twilight. And then we're going to mix up our Glacier and White. All right. Oh, Quindy. You, like, is the word acerbic? Acerbic? Let's use a $10 word here. Ah, no, I don't want that. Acerbic definition. Sharp and forthright, not quite. Although the second one is tasting sour or bitter. I don't know. Acerbic just came to me looking at Quindy. There are flowers? Did I miss the flowers? I have to go back up. Retail flare therapy. There we go. Ah, dahlia tubers. Yes. Dahlias. Those are the Quindy flowers. Did you get the Quindy Goth ones? Dahlias are like the Quindy Goth flower. See if I can find the appropriate goth flower. Yeah, like they're totally gothy. They're capable of being gothy. Ah, I don't care about this. Yes, they're very, very bloody, vampire-y kind of like. They're all different colors. I think the ones that I found were like. Yeah, they can be really, really dark. Dark black purple. So they're so gothy. They're so capable of gothness. There's a gothy one. These are totally the flowers that Quindy needs planted outside of her house. Like, no joke. So very much. Oh, they only had red, yellow, and magenta? Crap. Gonna make a highlight with using Glacier Blue, 1 drop of Zenith, and a drop of white. It's what I envisioned for Quindy's house. The all-black flower garden. Maybe with some bone-colored flowers as well, because Quindy loves skeletons. Truly goth by being dead, yes. Come on, white. Am I almost out of white? I might need to open a new white. Seriously? There we go. It wasn't out, it was just taunting me. No, Kuro's just gonna like start the appropriate flower garden on the other side of the ocean, and she can send you pictures. I'm sure if she's got red ones, I'm sure they'll be bloody enough for you. You can just like blow up her pictures and like tack them to the outside of your house. I'm sorry, I have no sleep. I'm just very wonky in the head today. That's the real reason we were... Well, Kiki did have a moment. I had to go and close the bedroom door so that she couldn't stand there and bark at things she hears because I opened the windows up there. But otherwise, it's just a very slow Anne day because Anne didn't sleep very well. Alright, and then we're going to pop a little bit of that in here. This is probably too many transitions, but I'm going to do it anyway. We can always adjust. And another drop of white. And we'll have a pentad. Oh, they're one of those flowers that you have to protect from frost. Got it. Uh-oh, it's going to be one of those. Kiki! Enough. You settle down or you're getting shut in here with me. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we could all use the photos since we're all... For me, it's just too much work. It's yet another thing to take care of, and I've got enough things to take care of right now in my life. Being completely honest. That's why I haven't started my bonsai habit again. Even though it's a beautiful climate for bonsai out here. That and I know that the bonsai would all die when we went away. On vacations. I can garden. It's just it requires time and effort that I'd rather put into other things. I liked my bonsai. Alrighty. Just want to get close. So we've got our colors. You can all see them. We got our liner, Black Night liner plus Twilight Shadows. Our Glacier Blue plus a little bit of Twilight Shadows. Glacier Blue plus a little bit of Zenith and White. And then a brush full or two of this with more Zenith and White in it for our highest highlights. I'm going to pop that out of frame and get closer. I do feel like my highlights need to go a little higher. I feel like I was a little bit more, we'll see how high this really is. I'm going to grab my highest color here and put it down and see. If it's quite as pale as here. I might need one more highlight up here. I feel like it's not quite light enough. So I'm going to take a couple brushfuls of that previous highlight and I'm going to pop pure white into it. No zenith this time. I want a real pale off-white. Yeah, that is. That cat like totally commented. And I gotta thin that down a lot so that it will not be too thick to blend in. So I put 2 drops of pure white in and I'm putting 3 drops of water and then I'm gonna test it. So now I've got a six color transitions. I'm not really using the pure liner for much unless I need the line. Thank you for the Prime sub, Marich. Wow, you're working your way up to a year. Thank you. We appreciate it. We always appreciate it. Hey, Quindy, are you available this weekend or not available this weekend? Or do you not know yet? Because I have a lot going on this weekend and I'm considering canceling stream because of it. Yeah, I know, right? 10 months is like nothing. It feels like you've been here for longer than that. There, a little bit higher highlight. I like that a little better. Should be available? Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about it. Sunday is my run. And then we have my CrossFit friend, Katie, is having a Super Bowl party that we're going to go over for. So I feel like my Sunday is completely going to be taken up with pleasant things, but I won't get any veg time, you know, I won't get any me time for just me. So part of me thinks I might go a little bit crazy if I don't take some of that time on Saturday. If you know what I mean. All you introverts out there. Just trying to blend that in. Yeah, I think that's a little better. Yeah, Super Bowl is this weekend. Sports ball. Sunday. And my husband is from Seattle. And so is Katie. So, since Seattle is playing, I guess we are rooting for Seattle. Not that David is terribly into sports ball. He still gets annoyed when the Seahawks don't win. Oh, it turned out you had to reinstall the app. Oh, yeah. Putting in my highlight here, I want this shoulder to be pretty light. Doing little brush strokes. Just building up the highlight to make it brighter. Yeah, I'm not a sports ball person, but I like parties. And Andrew and Ellie are going to go. And Katie will be there. It'll be a mixture of CrossFit people, Google people, and Katie's in genetics, biotech. So biotech people. And of course I love genetics, so I'm like excited. So we're gonna get that, and I wanna, again, as with all of the upper arm, I don't want the shadows to be nearly as dark as they are here, but I still want shadows. So I'm the darkest one, the darkest color here is the twilight blue. I mean, I grew up in a house watching sports ball, so I can watch sports ball competently. But yeah, I expect it's mostly going to be more like chatting and snacking party, less like watching the actual Super Bowl party. But we'll see. I said I like Katie, and Katie just moved into her new house, so it's not a housewarming party, but it kind of is. The house isn't like fully set up, but they wanted to have friends over anyway. Yeah, I haven't either, Quindy. I don't watch it. David almost always has it on. Like if it's a team he cares. Like last year, because it was Seahawks, or was it the last time it was the Seahawks were in, and he had it on, and I think he had it on last year. He has World Cup on too. Like he'll put if when World Cup's going on, he'll watch if it's a game that with a team that he cares about. So David's kind of a casual sports fan. Like he doesn't seek it out at any other time than during the big games, and then usually only if there's a team he cares about or if he's just bored and wants background noise. I know the hand egg. I mean, not necessarily us, but like other people over here on this side of the pond for sure get into hand egg. I'll make sure to inform people on at the party that the actual term for this game is hand egg, Kuro, according to my Scottish friend. Kickball. Oh no. Oh, shots fired. Oh no. Yeah, the Packers, right. Yeah. Well, of course, I grew up watching the Packers because I grew up in Wisconsin, so. All right, all right. We'll do. We'll do, Coral. I'll tell him we have to root for Scotland because of you. I mean, I have friends in the Netherlands, so I usually like root for the Netherlands, and like, obviously you're my friend in Scotland, so I can root for Scotland too. So these got a little bit dark. I think I want to glaze them just a teensy bit because these mussels, this is a big mussel, so I don't mind having that heavy shadow here. But when you've got more shallow mussels, guys, think about maybe bringing them up a little bit so that they're not as dark in the shading. So I'll probably I'll probably use my lightest color so that would be the off-white that I just built. It can be tricky to glaze with these, but I'll mix it up so that it's really, really just almost not there. I can show it better on my finger. You can kind of see that it just makes a fog, right? And that's a glaze. That fog there is the glaze. So I'm going to use it. And I'm gonna just put it all right over there. Just gonna boom, 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 all just on the upper part of the arm. And then I'm gonna grab and rinse out my brush really quick. And I wanna make sure that I blend in the edges with some water so that it doesn't have a hard line. Gotta do both sides. This side we haven't even painted yet, so we're safe. If I see any pooling like I do here, I'm going to take that right out of there by just touching the very tip of my brush to that pool. And I'm going to let it dry and notice how much lighter it looks now. However, this does remind me that I haven't done the back side of the arms here. Haven't done the butt. Apparently, I'm just very bad at painting the back of miniatures. Can also take a little bit of my previous colors and I can paint over a little bit of these lines. Just a light layer of like Glacier Blue mix. But yeah, since I'm putting my running to Sunday instead because that's a big trail run that I'm doing with my friend Anna. And then I've got that party, so I'm going to feel like Sunday just does not have any time for Anne to just veg and work on stuff. And I still need to get the new paperback up for East of the Sun, because I took down the old one, but I haven't even had time to... Or brain power. It's like, the only time I've had time to work on it is in the evening, and since I've never done it before, I really don't want to work on it when I don't have adequate brain, so I have not gotten the new paperback up yet. I consider it a triumph of my mindfulness training over the last week that I'm not panicking about this like I would have been. I would have been freaking out previously, but I've decided that I just don't care. It doesn't matter. The book will get up this weekend and it'll be just fine. And maybe one person in all the world will have cared that they couldn't buy my paperback in that intervening week. Especially because I'm not running much ads right now at all. Alright, so I'm just going in and I'm like gonna pop in some highlights here that I didn't really do last time. That's part of why it was looking a little bit off to me, I suspect, is that we didn't get all the highlights. So we want our highlight to be right at the edge of the shadow. This is what creates that really dramatic shadow, is when you've got a highlight right up against the dark shading. And you want to do this everywhere on like anything that's like in line with the plane of the light, like the light falling down. If the light falling down is hitting this whole upper surface, then you, like I said, you still have your lines, but you don't have it nearly as dark as you do here. So I'm going to just be working on skin today, just going to be kind of adjusting stuff. Little brush strokes, little brush. No big broad blending unless we get this all touched up and we can go down and start the legs. David doesn't normally seek out the World Cup, but they always have it on at Google. They always have it on. Somebody's always watching it. Like people they have like lounges with TVs or monitors for people to relax in between, work bits and pretty much people go out and they take their laptops and they just work in those lounges and watch. Is what has been described to me in the past. No Corona party, yeah, exactly. Just gonna remember to put in a shadow here underneath the chin. I need to thin this blue a little bit. The Glacier Blue Twilight Shadows mix needs a little thinning. I just mixed it up and I didn't thin it at all. Take it down to about a 2:1. Paint to water. It's true. Yeah, without you on Fridays, it's just a kind of lackluster kind of day. We have to try extra hard to make up for the lack of you, Kuro. Need to get a little bit of highlight, a roll of flab underneath his chin there. I don't want to take it all the way up because it is sitting underneath his jawline. But a little bit of reflected light would hit it, so. Okay. I'll take my highest highlight and get some of these little bits now. I was so sad that I didn't sleep last night too, because I had a really good run yesterday. Silly work, keeping you away from the stream. So I'm putting a little bit of my super high highlight in here. Again, I want to keep it toward the top of the muscle masses. But I'm making it broader up here. Oh gosh, Cornico. The universe, according to Quindy, draws heavily upon Pennywise doctrine. So again, just put your highlights toward, if it's on the upward facing, I'm going to put them slightly upward. The arm is slanted, so there's still an up and a down on it. If it is completely horizontal, then you're going to highlight the middle of every muscle. But because we actually have a slant, the upper part is still going to get that highest highlight. Now this arm is starting to really look good. And then I need to get highlights up here on the face. We did not bring up the face at all. Not really. Oh. Hey, Roger. Hey, Twistjoma. Oh, that's right, the Olympics. There's a lot of people pushing for trail running to become an Olympic sport, like ultramarathons and stuff. And my favorite ultra runner was one of the people who carried the Olympic torch this year. Not that she's just my favorite ultra runner, she's pretty much the world's favorite ultra runner for people who know anything about ultra running. I don't remember what her Instagram following is, but it's truly insane. Reaper Live should be. Yes, should be tonight. All right. Reaper Live, everybody. Very cool. All right, good. Now let's work on this face. And we can work on the hand, which is totally just blocked in. It's nothing much going on there. So the reason my favorite ultra runner is my favorite, and also the reason she's like the world's favorite ultra marathon runner, is that she is an ex-school teacher. She's 40. She started in like her, I think her mid-30s, but she essentially was a school teacher, and she started just running marathons, and then she started like doing ultras, and she was really good at it. And people really loved her because she's very down to earth, and she doesn't wear the short shorts. She doesn't wear the tights and crap. She just wears like boxing shorts. So she's got these long baggy shorts on, and she just wears baggy shirts. She's like, comfort is everything. To heck with fashion. Her name is Courtney DeWalter. So if trail running goes to the Olympics and you see her, you'll know who she is. But she's very, very down to earth. But she essentially talked with her husband, and they decided that she could quit teaching to try being a professional ultramarathon runner. And it has worked. It's crazy talk. But she's a really cool person. I was very happy to see that she got to be part of the team that carried the Olympic torch for the Olympics. I forget which leg she did. I think she lived in Colorado. Yeah, I think she was I can't remember, I think she was a science school teacher. I don't remember. I think that was like a middle school teacher. You're getting a package. I admire people who pretty much say to heck with fashion, because I'm one of those people. Alright, I'm just tightening up these little wrinkles on the forehead. All the sports I follow are so weird. It's like other people, they follow hand egg and kickball. And all I do is follow Overwatch esports and ultra marathon running. I don't even follow like regular marathons. I follow ultras. Never wearing hard pants again. Yes, comfort over fashion. Yeah, see, that's why everybody loves Courtney, because she's just like, if you guys have seen it, like you've seen the short shorts that women wear and the tights that women wear for running, especially if they're pro runners, right? The little onesie, the little t-shirt, the little tank tops, and the whatever, or just the sports bra, And Courtney is just like, I'm just gonna wear what I'm comfortable with. How about that? I'm gonna wear comfortable clothing. Alright, so I'm going to highlight this. I do want to get rosy tones into the skin around these areas, so I'm just going to do a real cursory highlight, and then we're going to grab probably some magenta. Since the skin is so cold, I probably want to use a cold red with it. If you use more of a regular red and not a magenta, you're going to get a little bit more of a bruisey color with the blue, because regular red pigment plus blue does not make a very good purple. Hey, Russian. See? Long boxing shorts, really baggy shirt. That's what I want to wear if I'm going to run 100 miles. You bet. Smart. Yeah, she wears normal clothing. That's why people really like her. Alrighty. She's also one of the few female runners who has outright beaten male runners in 100-mile races. Like won the race, was first overall. Which doesn't happen very often, because guys still have kind of an advantage over us with the testosterone and the muscle layout that they tend to get. But the more endurance-based the race is, the better women start to do. Alright, so we're picking up these little muscles in here. I don't want a ton. Yeah, comfort, exactly. Yeah, larger lung capacity also as well. Although, you know, that goes both ways, Marich, I think, because when you have a smaller build, you also have less to move. So you tend to be a little more efficient. So really small people, like some of the Asian female runners, like Magi, they're tiny. They're tiny, but they're still competing at like upper levels. So and yet with that larger lung capacity, you are often also pushing a lot more weight and mass, right? Yeah. And you have to push that weight and mass over the course of a 100-mile race, or 50-mile, or whatever you're doing, right? Even a marathon, I suspect it makes a difference. But yeah, that's why in shorter races, you're 100% correct. But the longer it gets, like, even though the marathon guys still have an advantage. Like, the record for a marathon for guys, the world record, is quite a bit shorter than the women's world record. By at least 20 seconds, I think. Yeah, it's a big thing. I mean, when I ran my 10K, that felt long. But it's the weird, it's just the mindset. It's absolutely mindset. Where, like, it's why once you do a 5K, a 10K doesn't sound, like, impossible anymore. And then once you've done a 10K, suddenly a half marathon doesn't sound impossible. It just keeps going up from there. Yeah, it is a 6 mile. 6.2. 10K is 6.2 miles. It felt like a lot to me when I was doing it. Because I'd only run that distance a few times. I actually, my training really sucked leading up to that race. I'm kind of sad that I, like, didn't have a clue about training at that point. But I think when you're a newbie to anything, right, you walk in and you just don't have a clue about what best practices are. Same with mini painting, right? You don't know, like, some of the things that other people will be like, oh, but that's so obvious. And you'd be like, I've never done this before. And so, yeah, same with running with me. I was like, la 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 la. So now I understand that I need to be able to run, you know, that distance regularly before I actually go into the race, or I should if I want to do better. right? So right now I'm working my regular distance up toward that on my long runs, and then I'll go past it. You want to know what feels long is by the time I'm actually ready for my race in October, my long run is supposed to be 14 miles long. This feels like what? What? Now I only have to do that once a week, but I'll be doing that once a week. Part of me is like, is this my inner masochist finally coming out? So I'm separating out these muscles, little groups of muscles down here. I don't want too much here, but I need to, if I want to pick out these muscles, I don't want to highlight them. They're under the arm, but I want to put more shadows in. Yeah. Yeah, online makes everything. Well, and even for running it does, because that's where you can find great, you can find things about training and stuff. But you know what? It's a double-edged sword, right, Kodiak? Because just like with mini painting, you try to look up something online and you find 15 different ways to do it and everybody disagrees. And it's the same with running. So you just never, like, it's always like it might work for them, but it doesn't work for you. And so it's still like it's just a grand experiment. Plus, with running, you also have like the additional thing of your body might not tolerate X, Y, or Z, or it might take longer or shorter to get up to a certain, level of fitness, or you might have to lose weight like I do, in order to get to your best form and stuff like that. And that's just a struggle. So, yeah. But with mini painting, it's very much, it might just not work for you because you don't think like that person, or maybe you don't have maybe your fingers are shorter or longer, or you hold a brush differently, or you don't have the speed yet or the confidence to do things as quickly as they do, or things like that, right? So the internet, I think, is a double-edged sword. Like, yes, you have access to so many great tools, and if you're lucky and you find a good teacher early, someone that really vibes with you, where their method makes sense, then it can absolutely give you a huge advantage. But if you are kind of stuck swimming around in the internet and not knowing, what you need, or not finding that teacher that you really vibe with right away, then it can be a struggle, a double struggle. You could end up wasting a lot of time. Yeah, 100% Gilded. Yeah, and running is the same. Like yesterday, there was one spot in the middle. I did a 2.6 mile run yesterday because I felt good. And there was one spot in the middle of the run where I felt like I just had great form, where I was just like, oh, everything is feeling flowy. It's all great. This is fantastic. Let's keep this up. And then, half a block later, I was struggling to hold on to that. Just noticing how I was, my strides were more choppy or whatever. So it's like you have moments of enlightenment, and then you have to work your way back to that moment of enlightenment again and again before you really get it. Yeah, it's easy to tell people to tell you what product is the best, but it might not be the best. Honestly, I found that Gilded, what worked for me was don't put your foot forward and then pull yourself along. Instead, push off with your toes. If you push off with your toes, then the strength for the propelling yourself forward happens with your on the back of your stride, and then your front foot just lands. It doesn't pull you forward at all. If you've got something like plantar fasciitis, this is the key to getting rid of it, is to start walking by pushing off with your toes instead of sticking your leg forward, landing on your heel, and pulling yourself forward. So yeah. So there's all sorts of, it's funny how much there is. But it took me, I had plantar fasciitis, I had heel spurs when I was still living in Wisconsin after college, and I had no idea how to get rid of them. Yes. Launch with the front of your foot. Yep. So the thing about a new brush or paint or palette, and the reason that it does seem to work sometimes for people, or even does work for people to get them to level up, when you are switching to a new tool, you are going to be trying something absolutely new. This is going to make your brain reset. It's essentially you're starting with fresh brain because you have to like stop and think about what you're doing again, possibly for the first time in a while. If you've been painting the same way for a long time, your brain gets on scripts, just like it gets habit scripts in real life. Just like how you're like, you suddenly come to yourself in the kitchen and you've got your coffee in your hand, but you don't remember making it, right? Because your brain has it on a script. So that can happen with miniature painting. And then when you grab a new brush or a new tool, new palette, new something that's disruptive enough to make you have to stop and actually notice what you're doing again, that's when you can learn. Because you're not on a script anymore, you're more likely to actually notice and learn from something because you're paying attention because you've got to. Doing a new paint line can, working with a new paint line can result in this as well. It can help you with, say, paint consistency or brush loading because you have to, like, think about it again. You haven't had to think about it for a while. Now you have to think about it. Oh, and you might notice more because you're thinking about it instead of just going through the motions. So that's why switching to like a new shape of brush or a new trying out a new paint line or trying a different palette, that's why these things can have such an impact. Things like getting a new light, that doesn't happen, right? It's not actually, except for maybe getting a new light may really affect you if you suddenly can see a lot better. Like if you have crappy lighting right now, then upgrading your lighting is definitely a game changer. But it has to be significant, right? So the $300 light will not help you, Cora. Yeah, such considerate ghosts making you coffee. That's Quindy's house. Quindy pretty much just lives in the Addams Family house, I think. Like, she's got Thing wandering around, making her stuff. But yeah, so anyway, there's your Anne lecture for today. The actual miniature painting focused Anne lecture about why switching to something that is significantly different in your painting environment can actually make you level up. But it's not the thing. It's not the thing itself. It's that your brain has to stop and think about what it's doing. And, especially if it's been a while since you switched things up, your brain is probably ready to learn or recognize a new thing. Like, it's probably, like, silently kind of absorbing knowledge, and it's ready for a breakthrough. So, yeah, no weeping angels, please. The Cajun Addams Family. Okay, that's awesome. Let's make that be a thing. Somebody say it on the internet so that we can have some Cajun Addams Family memes. I may have mentioned this before, by the way, but Google has an entire internal server dedicated to nothing but memes. Internal memes. Like, it gives you all the templates. You can just meme about anything every day. David's like, if you worked at my company, you would be on Meme Gen nonstop, and there would be so many punning husky memes. And I'm like, yes, there would be. And so many long cat memes. Long cat, ceiling cat. I would bring back the age of the lol cat for sure. Okay, Gwendy. I don't know if that light would give you a +5, Koro. It depends. How dim is your painting space right now? I mean, you are in Scotland. It might be pretty dim. I don't know. Like, you don't get actual sunlight, so. Yeah, Grumpy Cat. Yep. Grumpy Cat, the classic. Oh, Kiki. Kiki's like, no cats, only dogs. Kiki! No, no. Come here. Come here, Keeks. Kiki, enough. Come on. Yeah, shake it out. Come here. Yeah, good girl. Yeah, shake it out. Nobody cares. Come here. Come here. Uh-huh. When I say come here, you come here, big floof. Yeah, you're fine. Settle down. Settle down. Settle down. Oh, settle down. Good girl. Yeah, you want to settle in here for me? Yeah, you want to settle in here? You're a good girl? Yeah, please no barks. Please no barks. Good girl. We're just trying to paint us an ogre, geeks. It hasn't received direct light since September. I don't usually like direct light, but I like indirect. That's why I've got a window here, but I never paint here when the sun is actually coming through the window. It's just too harsh. Miss this little spot under the bracer. Alrighty. We're going to take our twilight shadows and we're going to paint in these underlying areas so that there's a little bit of reflected light and we can see a little bit of the muscles there. I also have to contact my people that I have my hotel reserved through for my race because David wants to go down now, I think. I keep forgetting I need to. There's a lot of things I need to have some brain width for that I have not had brain width for this week. Yes, there's so much sun I have to hide from it. Welcome to the South Bay. We get too much sun. It's not supposed to be sunny right now. It's supposed to be rainy, dang it. But the weather forecast keeps wanting to put rain, except next week, but then it's always next week. It never is real rain. It's always fictional. It's always wishful thinking. So I'm just putting in a little bit of highlighting underneath here so you can see those muscles. All right. I want to get that magenta. Let's get it. Magenta. So I forced David to use my Chimera Colors magenta, and now he's in love with it, and he's never giving it back. It's my own fault. But I still have clear magenta, so I'm happy. Oof. Yeah, that's cold. Oh my God, Marich. Yeah, right. Fall spring this week. I was fall spring right now actually. I think it's been like 68. I'm gonna get some magenta and I'm gonna glaze it. So got that magenta right there. Throw some water in it. Since it's clear magenta, it's going to go very transparent very fast, but that's good. That's what I need. It makes life as an accountant adventurous. Yeah. I want the rain. Weren't vibing, yeah. Knight of Seven Kingdoms is good. That's great. It's another Game of Thronesy world one, right? I'm going to glaze that magenta over the top of the blue. So you can see that color starting to come in there. I don't want it to be like just a huge pink nose. I do want some pure white though. I need to underpaint a little bit here. Not a legit rom-com. I don't think slasher horror romance really works for me. Set before, yeah, Game of Thrones, yep. A lot more silly, but more unsavory content, huh? Yeah, it's HBO. They think they know what sells. So, but if people are enjoying it, then that's good. I mean, it's a Gurm world, and so it's less HBO in the fact that Gurm really loves tragedy, I suspect. Like, there's still going to be dark moments and stuff. Horny box office. Yeah, pretty much trash around. I don't know, my computer, we've tried, like I have a webcam, I've tried to actually get it, like we tried to use a splitter, now I have a new box, but the problem is, John, that I've got 4 USB ports on this thing, but I need them for everything, right? Like, one's for my mic, one's for the cam, one's for the face cam, and one is, oh sorry, one is the internet port. Do I have an extra USB? I'd have to look, but I don't know that I have like an extra USB port on this. Maybe? Maybe I have one? We could try again. I'd have to figure out how I was going to mount it. Like, my desk is so full. As it is, I try to pull like palette in when I'm actually working with palette. I tried a hub and my computer could not handle it. I tried it for dog cam. I think I still have that hub somewhere, but I don't know where I put it because it did not work. I don't know. I don't have, like, any tech support is bound to be remote, so I could try it because this is a different computer, I think. Like, this is the newer. This isn't my old Alienware anymore. So I'm going to just keep my white here, guys, so that I can get the magenta to show up a little bit more. So I'm getting the wrinkles kind of like dashed in the white. And then when we put that magenta over the top, it's going to be more pink. because it's not going to have to go over the blue. You use another IPevo. Oh! No, another IPevo actually sounds like a good idea. I wanted a backup anyway, just in case this IPevo eventually dies. Because otherwise it'd be like, oh noes. We're going to have to wait several days before we can stream again. So that would be a pretty good idea to have an extra IPevo anyway. I think I could fit that. I'd have to rejigger the desk again. I'm gonna put a little bit more magenta on this pool. And I want this lower lip to go pinker, so I'm gonna put some white over it. Yeah, it's just like I'll have to clear off the desk and figure out where I'm gonna situate another cam, right? But it is a good idea to get a backup IPevo. And that way, even if it doesn't work as a palette cam, it'll still be the backup IPevo in case this one conks out. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I figured was going on, Trash, is that it just was overloading, it was just too much. And I'm working with laptops here, not desktops, because the laptop makes more sense for my setup here for the stream. So I'm not working on it with a desktop on this, where I would have maybe a bit more power. Putting a little bit of my shadow in here, make sure I keep that shadow. Just trying to get this to work there a little bit. I've got that shadow in there, but need to highlight it a little bit more. Maybe more light on this side. And then I want a little bit of highlight with that magenta. Nose and lips usually is where I put it if I'm trying to humanize a monster face a little bit. So I usually will look at, often people will do the ears a little bit as well. Like if you're doing orcs or if you're doing frost giants or anything like that, or this guy or ogres, putting a little bit of ruddy color on the nose, ears, in the essentially the red belt of the face. This is often the warm, the yellow belt. This is often the red belt. This is often the blue belt. On a human face. So if you can continue that yellow, red, blue on a monster, It's a way to make the face more interesting visually, and also to pull kind of a human, you know, the human kind of color pattern there for humanoid monsters. I like it because it means that it's not as boring. Like having the face be all just all monochrome, just the blue, is a little bit too boring for me. Oh, I've got a dumbass again. Kiki! In here now. In here now. In here now. Now. Yep, you're done. Done. Nope. Noped out. I noped out on you. I noped out on you. Yeah, nope. Yeah. Noping out on the barkies. Yep. Yep. You're done. Go and settle down. Settle down and be bored. She's like, oh. She's totally sulking now. So, okay. On a human face, yellow on the forehead. So here we've got a bit of greenish. I've added more of the yellow to the forehead here, so it's a little bit more warm. But on humans, the reason is the skull is right up next to the skin on your forehead. So it tends not to have a lot of blood flow, so it tends to be warmer. And in portraits, often that's where the light is falling, so that also makes it light and warm. So that's why yellow is the upper, usually up and down to the top of the cheekbones. Because likewise, right up here next to your eye, not a lot of blood flow. It's usually the cheekbones are right next to the surface there. Red is the middle belt. That's nose, fleshy lips, ears, as John says, the fleshy parts, but also the cheeks, right? You get a little bit of that rosiness to the cheeks. I'm not going to do that with this guy because I just don't want that kind of character. But yeah, and then blue, the cool tones, neutral tones down at the bottom. On men, that can actually come across as like a 5 o'clock shadow. On women, I paint it just neutral. I don't add yellow or red tones, and that makes it look cooler than the surrounding skin. Yeah, it's a portraiture thing, Alicia. It's an art thing, a 2D art thing. Yeah, it's just based off of like placement of bone and blood flow around a normal human face. But yeah, doing this, taking those rules and applying them to humanoid monsters lets you make things look a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to put just a little bit of rosy color here over the earlobe. I'm not going overboard with it. It's not like I'm making it super pink, but it does let you make the face just a little bit more interesting. It's an art thing. There might be. I haven't looked for one. It might be a t-shirt somewhere. We'll do more purple on this side of the nose because shadow. There are a couple of videos out on the YouTube about it, if you look up color zones for the face. But I just pretty much summarized it for you. Oh, I didn't paint in the eyes at all. Let's take our liner and fill in the eyeballs. I haven't decided what color his eyes are going to be yet. Maybe orange. Orange or red. Alrighty. And then I want to actually fill in the mouth. The tongue is back here. There's teeth up front. there's a tongue in there, so I do probably want to get the tongue in there with purple. And the purple I'm mixing Twilight Shadows with the magenta directly. So I'm mixing a blue-gray with the clear magenta, and I'm coming up with something that's like that. And then I can pop that in onto the tongue here. And I can mix a little bit of white with that. Get some highlights onto the tongue here. Although I don't want the tongue to show up a lot, so I just want that purple hue in there. Oh, yep, I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Shadow Kitty. Alrighty. This is going pretty well, actually, all things considered. Didn't get to the legs today, but I did get to putting some extra highlights on the arm and the face and tuning some stuff. Yes, it is Reaper Live Night, Laura. At least that's what John said earlier. Game news update. First press images of the StarCraft minis game of the models. Terran versus Zerg. Of course it's Terran versus Zerg. Do they look good? Do our pseudo Tyranids look good? Hey, I don't care about like Terran. All I care about is the Zerg. Are the Zerg cool though? Yeah, that's cool. Thanks. I'll open that in a new tab. Oh, yeah. Good minis. Coolio. Well, it is a board game, right? So if I glaze more, I can get the nose really pink. I don't need that so much. Yep, husky pun, husky face. Pun husky strikes again. There we go, light that up, and there's good. Here is the Protoss, including a pylon. 1 second. No, I want to open a new link. What are you doing? There, new tab. Oh, cool. Yeah, Protoss look cool. Neat, and I like the pylon. Neat. You don't care for that man's hair. Oh, guys. Advertising fail, huh? Good girl, Kiki. You're being so good. Kiki's like so bored, so sulk. She was sulking so bad last night. Such a sulky dog. We were trying to get other things done, and we were not making her food right away, and she was just like, "Oof." She sat in her crate and stared at us, gave us the dog eyes, the betrayed dog eyes, the sulking dog eyes. It was immense. It was just like the most sulky look ever. She's like, I am the princess in this house, and you should be making my food, not your food. It was funny. "73 pylons to play." Oh, man. That's very amusing. Alright, so we're starting to get just a little bit of this hand smoothed out a bit. I still feel like the nose went a little bit pink, so I'm going to throw some white real light. A little bit of white over the top. There we go. There we go. That's more like what I wanted. So you can see this stuff just slowly comes together. It's not like I paint it and it's instantly good looking. It needs some work here and there. Oh, 22 years old. Holy crap. That is a little kitty. Eva has been with you for a very long time. Alright. Gonna paint in the claws black. Mususla, yes. Oh no, then you have forgotten hers. Oh no. Once every 3 weeks, oh no. I have to admit I did forget Kiki's food once. Her breakfast. And I didn't understand why she was getting so hangry and like wanting to bite her treats out of my hand until I realized when I went to look at the food that, oh my god, I forgot to feed Kiki this morning. I don't remember what was going on, but it was like, Kiki, what's up? Yeah? But it was like insane. I was aghast at myself. She'll wither away, yes. Alright, I want to smooth out this cheekbone and then we'll be pretty good to end stream. A little bit rocky still. There are areas, since I did Zenith Prime on this, there are areas that are still a little bit speckly, where I didn't quite cover over the primer. Speaking of outliving, I got my super mortality poster in the mail. I told David about it and he was aghast. The one where you cross off every week of your life as it happens to make you more conscious of the fact that you have finite time. My husband is definitely in the camp of would never do that. Would never have such a thing. Yep. I'm hoping it will make me more mindful of every day and how I spend it. Just putting a little extra highlight up here on top of the head, up on the cheekbone, around the eye. I want that eye to really pop. Yeah, I just, I heard about it on a podcast and I was like, you know, I think I want one of those. So I ordered it. Because otherwise I tend to get in this fugue state where days just go by like, and I wonder where the month has gone. This week has actually been great. I've tried to slow down and actually like be mindful more. And I feel like the week is lasting so much longer. Like, my brain says it should be Saturday already, and it's only Thursday. So I think I gained at least one day back as far as being conscious of, like, time. Just trying to be a little bit less autoscript and a little bit more mindful. And also trying to just slow down and freak out less. It's the year of the chillax, Bryce. Year of the chillax. Yes, your brain thinks it should always be Saturday. Yes, this is true. That would be retirement, right? Hypothetically. Alright, I feel pretty good now about where the face is at. Let me back up. I always want to take a look at the piece from further away. Yeah, the face is really showing up now, guys. See? So, just putting in that little bit of extra highlighting, you know, darkening down some things, getting the mouth filled in. Like, the face is much more, like, the face really hits you now. Like, before I feel like all I was looking at was the musculature, and now I feel like the face holds its own. So, that's what I wanted. And next time, then, we'll probably have to work on hands and the back of the arms. And maybe we'll get to legs. But I feel I'm much happier now with the whole thing. Even on Saturday, Brain was like, hush, Brain, we have Saturday at home. I love it. Every day is like Sunday. Like the Morrissey song. Yeah, I think he's looking pretty good. I like him. He's chubby. He's a chunk. He's a chonk. Chonk Ogre Mage. Yeah, it'll be cool once we get his like horns and tusks all filled in and stuff. That'll be neat too. So yeah, pretty happy with him right now. Just need to figure out like what colors I'm gonna make the necklace and the armor, and how we're gonna do all that. We wouldn't say it to his face, yeah. And heaven knows thank you, Quindy. Thank you. The Morrissey follow-up play. Thank you so much. I listened to an awful lot of Morrissey when I was in high school. And the Smiths. Alrighty. Switch. Stretch, everybody. Stretch time, Kiki. Stretch time, Kiki. Oh, she just stretched. Kiki, you stretched too. That was so cute. She stretched out her hind legs. It's so cute. So cute. Yes, the Kiki is so cute, guys. Yeah, she does. If I try to get on the floor and do yoga, she tries to do yoga with me. It's funny. She's like, "You're lying down, Mama," and she'll get down and do her thing. It's very funny. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for following along. Sorry for the late start. At least we got to a good, solid block of time. Tomorrow for Friday, we have Kiddy Friday. Kiddy Friday. We're working on spots. Spots for the kiddy. So yeah, so we're going to keep doing that kind of cool, weird teal floaty highlight thing on the front part of the kiddy. And maybe we'll get to the face. So yeah, Kiddy Friday tomorrow. I hope you all have a lovely day. John and Quindy and Kuro, thank you all for modding. And I hope you all have a lovely evening. Yeah, I just actually, guys, I ordered the Voodoo Queen yesterday. So, and I got the free model too. So both of those will probably be going on the stream. The Voodoo Queen I'm going to replace Gnome King with, unless I feel like working on Gnome King, then every once in a while we'll work on him. But yeah, we're totally going to paint Voodoo Queen on stream. So yeah. Oh, Michael pops in just as I'm about to end stream. Hi and bye. Kiki says, "I want my walk. I want my walk." Right? Is that what you're saying with your dog face? Is that what you're saying, dog face? Yeah? Okay. Everybody have a great day, and I'll see you all tomorrow, except for those of you who I won't see until Monday. All right? Bye.